Hi, this is Frode and welcome back to Actualize Notes TV. Today we have another great book, Unlimited Memory by Grandmaster Kevin Horsley. Unlimited Memory. Subtitle, How to Use Advanced Learning Strategies to Learn Faster, Remember More, and Be More Productive. Kevin Horsley is one of the few people in the world who has the title of International Grandmaster of Memory. He's also a professional speaker and an extremely clear and precise memory teacher. It was really helpful with his clarity to understand and apply the big ideas of learning more effectively, remembering more, and producing more from the book. And if you want to learn more faster, remember more, and produce at an elite level, I think you'll love the book. And I'll start off with a quote, and this is from Kevin. He says that your memory is not something that happens to you. You create your memories, and that will be a central idea while we go through my favorite 5 big ideas from the book. First one is mind movies, plus C, the C principle. First, mind movies. Kevin says that we can... all learning actually happens when we can create images and movies inside our minds. When we can't, we are confused and can't seem to understand what we hear or read. And the reason that why we want to create images and movies in our minds of what we are learning, the concepts, the ideas, the images, the events in history, whatever, is that it makes learning much more fun. And it improves our learning. He shares some numbers from John Medina, a neuroscientist. John says that if you hear something 3 days later, you will remember about 10% of it. That's from hearing. But if you add a picture 3 days later, you'll remember 65% of what you learned. So seeing is much more powerful than only hearing, and seeing in our minds is what we want to focus on. So how do we start creating images and movies in our minds of what we read and hear and learn? It's pretty simple. It's by using the C principle. S-E-E. First, Kevin tells us, senses. You create images in your mind most powerfully when you can use your 5 senses. Yes, 5 senses. When you can see what and hear and feel and taste and smell what it is you're imagining, what it is you're learning. For example, imagine a horse. You can see the horse right in front of you. Black horse. Then you can also hear the horse whinnying. Then you can also touch the horse and feel the texture on its skin. Imagine that you're actually tasting the horse and licking its skin. And you also smell the horse, or the food that the horse is eating, grains or something like that. And what you saw in your mind, if you did this correctly, it was not the letters H-O-R-S-E, horse, but a multi-sensory image of what you experienced in your mind. And by the way, a side note there is that scientists have actually proven that what you imagine, your brain can actually not differentiate between what you imagine vividly and what you actually experience, which is another reason that we remember it better. So the first one is senses. See, hear, feel, taste, and smell what you imagine. Next, exaggerate. You need to exaggerate to make your images or movies more memorable. What is more memorable to you? A strawberry of normal size? Or a strawberry the size of a house? Good way to remember. And then we have energize. Here, keyword is action. You want to put action into your images. You want things to be moving around, wrapping against each other, hitting, and all those sorts of things. You want a lot of colors and pretty much like in a movie, action movie. And what is more interesting to your mind? A horse standing still or a horse that is running and moving around inside nature, while running through the forests, while you're standing on one leg on top of that horse. We want to use the see principles. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? Use your senses. Exaggerate, make things larger than life, and imagine things going into space and jumping all around on planets, anything. And energize, you know, create action. Make movements in your imagination, in colors. And this is a principle that we want to use all of the time, and the one we're using for this idea, and this idea, and this idea. It's the principle you want to use when you're reading or hearing something. He actually says that when you hear or read something, you want to imagine that you are looking at a movie screen and create images out of the words you see. That's a quick look on mind movies and see principles. Check out the book for more. Then we have 3 memories plus the body method. Kevin tells us that there are 3 memories. We have long-term memory. Actually, this is an equation. Plus short-term memory, STM, equals medium-term memory, MTM. Imagine a sieve that you might put a boiling bag, rice bag into, so you can remove the water from the solid rice. And you're running water through it, and it goes straight through. That is like your short-term memory. But if you put a packet into that sieve, then the water will be trapped. It will be stored into that sieve. And it will fill up in here. And same with our memories. If you combine short-term information that comes in, for example, a new phone number or a new fact or concept that you're learning, and you connect it with something, with old information, something that's in your long-term memory. So you combine short-term memory, information coming in, with long-term memory, old information. For example, how your body looks, or how your house looks, or something else that you know from before. Then it will turn into medium-term memory, and you will remember it for a longer time than short-term memory, which pretty quickly fades away. But you won't remember it as permanently as long-term memory, which sticks in your mind forever. And this is a really powerful way to learn faster. And how do we use this technique? Combine new information with old information to learn better. And remember, we use the body principle. Quick instructions here. 1. You want to create images out of what you learn. For example, 3 memories. You can imagine 3 types of brains. One that's small, one that's huge, and one that's a little bit smaller, which is medium. And then you want to place those images onto your body. Place them onto your body. And you also want to have a specific order. So, pretty quickly, I can tell you right now, all of the ideas, I actually have them attached to my body parts. First, for my left leg, I have the idea of see. I see a huge eyeball down there, with an eye, an ear, a body, a mouth, and a nose, to represent the senses. On my right leg, I have a huge brain. And I also see a huge sieve where water is running down. That is the second big idea. And how do we learn? I can see a huge book, and to represent connecting, which we'll talk about, association, I have a cable going down into the book. And I also have list, which we'll also talk about, on that book. For self-discipline, I have a huge shield of the Spartans to remember self-discipline. That's on my right thigh. And you get the point. You want to create images of what you learn and place it on your body parts. Specific sequence. For example, feet to head or head to feet. This will help you remember more. And you can use it for shopping lists, ideas, concepts, events in history, a subject you're studying, whatever. And a much more powerful technique than the body method is the journey method. Basic idea is you do the exact same as the body, but you use your house. So you can place things in your washing machine, in your oven, in your bathroom. And if you make it vivid enough, use the C principles. chances are you'll remember it in your medium-term memory. And then you have to review to renew it and remember it forever, of course, which we'll talk about. But let's move on. That's 3 memories plus body method. Third big idea. How do we learn? Short answer is we learn only through association, combining what new information to old information, what we don't yet fully know and understand with what we fully know and understand. Which is pretty much the same as 3 memories. You combine new information with old information to create medium-term memory. And that's the only way we learn. And here's just a really cool example in the book. For example, let's say you want to remember the names of the 3 presidents: Washington, Adams, and Jefferson, W-A-J. So instead of just trying to repeat them over and over again to burn them into your mind, which seldom works, we'll talk more about this as we go through books on learning, Washington, you want to create words, you want to ask yourself, what does this word sound like? Washington is sounds like washing a tin. So you can imagine yourself washing a tin in your sink. Next, Adams. Imagine that tin developing a huge Adam's apple. Jefferson, imagine a chef and her son, which comes and helps you wash those tins. And therefore you're washing a tin which develops a huge Adam's apple, and a chef and her son comes and helps you. You have the 3 American presidents: Washington, Adams, and Jefferson. Check out the book for more. But we learn through association, combining what we know with what we don't know. 4th big idea. Self-discipline. The only way you'll remember any of these ideas is if you repeat them and review them over time. You have to use self-discipline. Kevin uses the example of flossing. Most people don't floss because it requires some self-discipline. Is it hard? No. Does it take a lot of time? No. Is it complicated? No. But do most people do it? No. And why? Because they don't have the level of self-discipline to do it. And luckily he gives us, I floss by the way, yay me, are you? To develop self-discipline, there are 4 keys. We've got to have a vision of what we want to create with our lives. We can't expect to have a lot of energy and get fired up and jump out of bed if we don't know where we're going in life over the next 1, 5, 10, 25, 50 plus years. So what is your vision over the next 5 years? Mine? Create 1,000 notes and 1,000 of these videos from books on personal development. Next, gotta make a decision. Every single morning, after going to my first Vipassana meditation retreat, I make a strong determination decision that I will sit for 1 hour straight without moving for meditation and without moving my posture. And after 50 minutes it gets quite painful, but I am determined. I made the decision that I will not move, therefore I will not move. And over time this develops my ability to do what I say I will do by making a decision and sticking to it. So have you made a decision that your vision is going to become a reality, or you'll do everything that you can to make it a reality? Third, for self-discipline, feelings. You want to stop listening to your feelings when you have made a decision. You want to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Shares a quote from Albert Hubbard, which pretty much says the same thing. So, what do you feel like doing? Don't ask yourself that question. Ask, what do I choose to do? What have I decided to do? I decided right now to create this video. Might not have felt like it, but I did. 4th one is D. D. What was that for? I'll check it out. And recall that I'm not using notes for this, so it's quite extraordinary how much we can remember if you use the good memory techniques. But right now I need support. The 4th one is daily. If you want to develop any skill, you need to do it daily. I think it was John C. Maxwell that said that your life, you can not expect your life to change unless you do something daily. Unless you change something you do daily. So how are you going to apply these ideas to your life daily? That's the only way your life will change. Are you developing your self-discipline that will help you learn faster, remember more, and produce at an elite level? This goes for any part of our life, by the way. Fifth big idea is review to renew. Fascinating studies have shown that after about 12 years of going to school, the average person remembers about 3 weeks of what they learned. So 12 years equals 3 weeks of learning. Seems like a pretty good waste of time, doesn't it? And other studies show that after 28 days, something you have learned, you will only remember 18% of it. Which means that after a 28-day holiday, the average student goes back having forgotten 82% of what they learned. 28 days equals 18%. But these numbers are only for those who don't use the memory techniques that we are learning right now. And therefore we want to review to renew. Kevin says that we can actually store things in our memory forever if you review them enough times. So there are a few simple steps. You want to have really clear images that you have created in a mind map, or you have created clear images of what you have been writing or hearing or putting on your body parts. Second, you need to do the first one backwards. So in however order you learn something, review it backwards the first time after about 10 minutes. Then you want to review after 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, 2 months, and 3 months. And immediately a question might pop in your mind. Do you really mean that I have to review what I learned 10 times to store it in long-term memory? And you can calm down, because I also winced a bit when I saw that. But we can look at it from another perspective. You can either choose to learn something once without reviewing it and forget 82% of it. Or you can choose the self-discipline to review it at specific times 10 times over 3 months and remember it forever, perhaps 19 to 95% of it. It's your choice. And you can create reminders in your calendar or on your phone to do this, by the way. But a really important point is if you want to review effectively, my number one tip is that you create mind maps. I don't know if you can see this right now, but here I have a mind map of the book, the big ideas, my favorite quotes, the points, and the connections to other authors. And this makes it everything I learned in this book is on this one page, so I can review it in a couple of minutes. And it makes it really powerful to review. So I haven't created a note on the Mind Map book by Tony Buzan, the creator of Mind Maps, but I highly encourage you to read that one. It's the one thing that has been most transformative for what I learn and remember, and which makes me able to talk for 15 to 20 minutes and even an hour if I had that scope of time without any notes. Okay. Review to renew. You need to review what you learn to remember things forever. You need to have the self-discipline by practicing these skills daily. How do we learn? Only through association, combining what we know with what we don't know. And three memory, these are long-term memory plus short-term memory equals medium-term memory. And you use the body method. Create images of what you learn and place these exaggerated, energized, sense-filled images on your body parts. And that was really mind movies plus the C principle. Use your senses, exaggerate, and energize. Eventually, when you use these ideas, they will just become a habit. To watch, for example, to watch movies while you're reading. Imagine that you're watching movies. That's a quick look at Unlimited Memory by Grandmaster Kevin Horsley. Our next book is Make It Stick, another book on learning by Peter C. Brown and two leading neuroscientists. We'll look at the science of successful learning. For now, what's the number one idea that most jumped out at you, that resonated with you, that made you inspired to apply it to your own life, that could really change your life over the next 1, 5, or 10 years? And what's the first step you could take towards embodying it to your life more consistently starting today? Pro tip, buy the book, read it, and change your life. Okay, that's a quick look, as I said. And thank you very much for watching. Create another awesome day. And let's actualize so we can give our most authentic selves in greatest service to the world. See ya.
Hi, this is Frode. You might know me from the work I do on YouTube, where I share big ideas from self-help books, but you can also gain access to a ton of more wisdom at our website actualizer.me. And here I am focusing all of my efforts on the question, how can I help you actualize your life on a day-to-day basis? Because I know that even though you want to actualize your life, you're too busy to read all day, of course. That's why we're all about sharing wisdom made practical. Fun, inspiring, and practical wisdom you can apply to your life immediately. And we do it through something we call Actualize Notes, greatly inspired by my number one hero, Brian Johnson, at Optimize.me. Actualize Notes are big ideas from over 100 of the best and most transformative books on optimal living. It's notes from a fellow actualizer who wants to embody and help you embody these ideas more consistently in your life. These are 6-page PDFs with condensed wisdom ready for use. And in these PDFs, I riff on the big ideas from the books, combine different ideas from different authors, look what they say on the same subjects, and also focus on how you can apply these ideas to your life. We're all about wisdom made practical, as I said. And these notes are recorded as 20 to 30 minute MP3 guides, so you can actualize on the go. I also create 10 to 20 minute ANTV episodes, where I share 5 of my favorite big ideas from those notes. I'll post them on YouTube and also convert them into MP3 so you can listen to them on iTunes at our Actualize podcast. All of this wisdom includes over 750 big ideas from ancient philosophers, modern scientists, and your own common sense, explained for easy use. You can get access for only $10 a month at actualizer.me. You can cancel whenever you want, and we price the membership program low so you can tap into practical wisdom no matter how you're standing financially. Of course, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Sign up at actualizer.me. I hope you'll join us. See ya.